Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Higgins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. General, thank you so much for being here, sir. You're tremendous service to our country. I'm an old Army guy, enlisted. I wanted to be Navy, but my ASVAB scores were too high. So I appreciate your service, and it just can't be, it can't be overstated, the debt that our country has to you, your family. So many decades of sacrifice. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Since you're a former enlisted member of the service, I should point out that Sergeant Major Abernathy, sitting right behind me, is leaving after many years of service this year as well.
Oh.
And we thank him for it.
Well, NCO is always quite certain that if the officers don't show up, eventually somebody will notice, but if the NCOs don't show up, well, the Army's in trouble. So, General, Ukraine, I'd just like to chat with you about Ukraine. And if you could, for America and for some members of this committee that need clarity, could you describe from your perspective, which is quite unique and experienced, what does victory look like? Can you share with us how you would envision victory? Should we continue to invest American treasure to seek some resolution of the Ukrainian war and Russian invasion of Ukraine? Clearly, we seek some definition of victory. Could you possibly share that?
Absolutely, Congressman. And without getting into the realm of policy, which Ms. Thompson is obviously much better prepared to talk about than I think you have to start by saying victory for whom, right? And whose victory? What does a good outcome for the United States look like is one part of that.
Okay.
What does a good outcome for Ukraine look like? When you think about Ukraine, you can think about it in increments. The first step to winning is not losing, right? So Ukraine has to defeat Russia's efforts to continue to take their territory. Then after that, you have a national question: how much of it do we want to take back, and what is the cost-benefit analysis of what it will take to take that back? And I think the Ukrainians calculate that every day and plan against that every day. So, it's a complicated question, but I think an important part of it is we have to ask ourselves, what are the benefits for us in the various outcomes?
So, to the gentleman's point, and thank you for sharing your perspective there in this setting. You're limited in how you can respond, I'm quite sure. But it's important for America to observe that we do seek resolution of this war. And this Congress and this committee in particular carries quite a heavy burden on making responsible decisions on behalf of the American people that we represent. So defining victory to some of us at this point has become as clear as just a cessation of war, the cessation of the killing. And for some of us, it was difficult to envision any scenario where Ukraine defeats Russia. This seems to be a fantastic projection of the wildest imaginations of what potentials could be. So sustaining the war, it would be sustaining the killing of Ukrainian men and women and the destruction of Ukrainian territories. And it seems to us that Russia can bear the brunt of this conflict for quite a long time. And I would ask the good lady's perspective of, give us a window on ending this thing, and how can we look forward to some sustained peace in a way that Ukraine could measure some prevail.
Thank you, Congressman. And I can certainly provide additional color to this in our closed session from a policy perspective. But President Trump, as you've rightly hit on, his goal is to end it as soon as possible. And that's why we're undergoing the peace process that's currently in discussion. And I would say, again, the goal is to end that peace process in an enduring fashion so that we're not at this table again in the short, medium, or long-term period of time.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. My time has expired.